on today. I'm Candy.
I'm Courtney.
And I'm Kendra Michelle.
And welcome to
Chatty Catties.
You guys, it has been a while.
Yes,
I know, but it's a reason. And it's my fault, but my husband's too.
Blame him too.
Yes, it's been a while since we got together. I remember on our very last show, I was asking you ladies about being mothers, having jobs, careers, and balancing everything. And I had no idea that I was pregnant.
That's a surprise.
Yeah, I found out the very next day that I was expecting. I literally took like 4 pregnancy tests, like 4 different brands.
Shock.
Yeah, and oh man, all of them was just a smiley face, 4 smiley faces.
She didn't say this one's wrong. I'm trying
And I couldn't believe it because I kept saying, oh, you know, no kids and all that.
Yeah.
Bun cooking in the oven the entire time.
Already
had no idea. But you know what, my husband and I, we are just so happy to have her. She's 4 months now.
She's adorable.
You have to tell everybody her name.
So her name is Justice.
Yes.
And we
Baby
call her
Justice.
Juju. Yeah, Juju for short. Hey, baby. And my husband and I, we are just so happy
That is good.
to have. I love being a mom. He loves being a dad.
Yes,
and we just spoil her rotten. We're not
I'm
gonna
sure
lie. We're not
she
gonna lie.
is.
We do.
That is
We
awesome.
do. But you know what? I'm glad that I actually got a chance to
Go through the whole
because
experience
it is a lot.
Yeah.
And it definitely puts a change to your body physically and mentally.
Yeah.
Which brings me
definitely,
to our topic for today. We'll be talking about postpartum depression. Now, I have a question for you ladies, because you're both mothers.
Correct.
Yeah. For you, Courtney, when you were pregnant with either one of your kids, did you experience going through postpartum at all?
I did. I actually experienced it. I wasn't aware that I was experiencing it with my second child, my son. And my doctor actually had to bring it to my attention. You know, I was tired, kind of detached. I hadn't gotten to the point that they say, you know, where you feel like harmful to yourself or to your child. I was just detached. I did not feel like I had a connection like I should with this baby as compared to, you know, my other children. So it was really eye-opening when I sat down and talked to my doctor.
Is it kind of like is it really scary?
Yeah, because it's like you're like, how can I not feel this way about this baby?
Yeah.
This is my baby. Yeah. But you just don't. It's like you're empty. You know, literally, you feel empty, you know? And I never, I always wanted the baby to, you know, be safe and things like that, but I just did not feel like I could connect like my husband, you know, at the time. Yeah. And then after a while, you know, it was almost like, not necessarily you snap out of it, but then you realize that you start feeling that bubbly, warm feeling that you feel with your child when they're small, you know?
Right.
So it was a real interesting experience, and it almost kind of came back with my third child. You know, I had to talk to my doctor about it, and she, you know, kind of mentioned all the treatments. You know, they have therapy, they have medication, and I'm not a medication person. I don't like to take, you know, especially psychiatric medications. So I went the therapy route. You know, so I went to a therapist for a while, and it really helped me. It really, really, really was beneficial. So I would urge, and if you're having any symptoms or you just feel, we know as mothers, as parents, when we feel different, you know. So if you feel weird, if something is out of sorts, talk to your doctor, because it was interesting when I mentioned it to my doctor. She told me about her experience, and she almost divorced her husband and almost moved out.
Oh, wow! So
while she was going through it. Yeah. So it was really interesting, and I felt good that I expressed it because, you know, I never would have known. She seemed so put together. You know, not that, you know, if you're going through it that you're not put together, but you would have never thought that a doctor,
would
you
go
know,
through something like that,
would have gone through something like that. So it was a really interesting experience, one that I think mine was a milder version, so, you know, it's definitely something that I'm thankful that I got out of so quickly. But yeah, it's interesting. Interesting experience, and I feel really bad for those mothers that actually experience it to you know, a 3rd or 4th degree, you know, where they are thinking about suicide and things like that. It has scary. To be hard, you know?
And I think you definitely need a support system around you, because when I had my daughter, I actually experienced it as well. And I didn't know that it was postpartum depression. I thought, what's wrong with me? I was crying. I was sad. I thought some of it maybe like the relationship, like, the baby's going to alter things, think more like that. I was kind of blaming the circumstance or what I was going through as the reason why this was occurring. But I then learned that it had nothing to do with that. It was pretty much, it's a part of your hormones and estrogen all being out of balance from having a baby, and it can happen. So for the first couple weeks of my daughter's life, I was happy, but I would find myself sad. I would find myself crying. I would kind of put distance between me and my family. Like, I'd be at my mom's house, everybody's downstairs, and I'm like sitting upstairs in the room. And it was because I didn't know what the feelings was. Like, why am I sad? I should be happy. This is my first baby. And I'm an only girl, so everybody was happy when I had my baby. But I didn't feel that. But by probably like 3 weeks in, I began to, like, the feelings kind of went away. I wasn't as tired. I didn't feel like that disconnect that you initially felt when, well, if you've ever had it, you'll know what we're talking about, the disconnect. Like, it's my baby, but I didn't feel like the connection I should. But then eventually it went away, and, it's just kind of disappeared, and I kind of got back to my life. But nobody ever told me about postpartum depression. Nobody ever mentioned it to me. Nobody ever brought it up. And I don't know if I don't want to say it's a race thing, because blacks, whites, Hispanic, anybody can get it. Any woman can get it. But I think for blacks, it was like, what's postpartum depression? Like, nah, we don't get that. Yeah, we do. And a lot of women probably experienced it and didn't know what it was, didn't put a name on it. Just thought, well, I just feel this way. I'm just tired from having a baby. No, it's what they call, like, they have a name for it. It's called the baby blues. So it's normal when you first have a baby to go through what they call the baby blues. The first few weeks where you feel a little detached, you feel a little tired. You go through that sad feeling, that detachment that you first have. But they said after 3 weeks, going into like a month, if it's still going on, then you should probably speak to somebody about it.
Now, you know what? I didn't know that and it's not all women and not all men, but sometimes when a woman is pregnant, sometimes the men go through the symptoms and not the woman. I didn't know that. Like, my husband didn't go through nothing.
Oh, you got it.
He's going to claim that he did. Baby, I love you. But he ain't going to go through nothing.
He has no idea.
Everything. Everything. I'm saying everything. Okay. I went through all of it, but my baby was worth it. Don't get me wrong; she was worth everything. But he didn't go through nothing.
I think all men should get a little morning sickness for a couple weeks. Just kind of go through that, just so they can understand when you're like, feel
Did you
good.
go through morning sickness?
I did. Actually, it wasn't really bad with my daughter. I had it maybe a couple. I would have it in the evening. It was weird. Like around 7 o'clock every day, I get like nauseated, but I didn't vomit. Normally that nausea feeling though, where I just couldn't eat nothing.
I had it all.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I think I vomited maybe twice, and I think I took a prenatal on an empty stomach, so I learned that I needed to eat first. But other than that,
and see,
she did good.
That you pointed out like the guilt that you feel because people expect you to be all happy and excited that you have this new baby, but you're like, I know I should, but I don't, and I can't tell them that because then they'll be like, what's wrong with you? And I don't know what's wrong with me.
Exactly.
That's in itself is like, that will cause you to be more depressed.
Because everybody's like, what's wrong? Why you're not happy? And you are happy, but you don't quite feel happy like you should. In front of people, you're just like, every chance I got and I could get by myself, I go upstairs because I didn't live with my parents anymore, but I still had my old room, so I would go up there and lay down, or I'd just be in the room, me and the baby, and my mom's like, what's wrong? I'm like, nothing, but it was just, I didn't have the desire to be around everybody. I was just... And I'm like, what's wrong? And it wasn't anything wrong. It was just, it's natural to go through this baby blues thing.
And I think the Mayo Clinic mentioned that that's like the dividing factor. So everybody has some degree of baby blues, because it's a huge life change when you have a baby, But then when it goes over into the anxiety, that isolation, that depression, that excessive crying, losing appetite or eating excessively, that's when it goes over.
And that goes really heavy with postpartum. Because I don't think I did, but I know when I first brought her home, everything was fine. The next day, I went into the bathroom and I just started crying. And I was like, oh my God, my mother, I don't know what to do. I'm new at this. My life is over. Literally, I just thought about my life literally like flashed before my eyes. And I was in the bathroom for a few minutes and I was just really crying my eyes out. I had to pull myself together and say, Candy, you know what? You got this.
You can do this.
This is something new. There is no manual to this. Be the best mother that you can possibly be. And ever since then, I've been okay. I've been, not a perfect mom, but I've been the best that I, could possibly be. But that second day, I was just like, my life was just...
Yeah, like you're so sensitive and every little thing, and you panic and you're thinking about all the things that could happen.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to do this, and I'm not going to do this, and I'm going to do this. And I think it just comes with, after having a baby, like, it's sitting there like, oh my God, I'm a mom. And it was my first one, so I'm like, oh my God, I'm a mom. Like, my mom does it like it's a no-brainer. I'm like, I don't see how you have 4 kids.
Yeah.
Because it just seemed like a lot for me.
Yeah.
But eventually it went away. You become happy, and then that little face looking back at you, smile, and that's what, to me, what helped kind of like bring me out of it. Because it was just like, oh, and you playing with the baby, and you thinking about this little angel that's sitting in front of you. So
yeah.
But I think it varies. I mean, and I think support system. Your husband's there.
Absolutely.
Your husband's there. You have a support system,
definitely
family,
need
people
that.
around you. For other people who may have suffered it more in depth, I don't know what their situation was. If you don't have a support system, that definitely could make what seems like a mild situation probably could take it further, because you don't have nobody to kind of pull you out of that dark place and tell you it's going to be okay, and we got you, and we're going to help you, and you're not in this by yourself. So I definitely think you need a support system.
And I feel bad, and some women who don't have that support system, and they're going through that postpartum.
Right.
I didn't. I knew a little bit about it,
right,
but at the same time, I didn't know that much. But it is something that is very serious, and it can go like what you were saying. It can get real heavy. Like it's a mild version to it, and it's one that's some women, suicide, just all kinds of thoughts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
To them, to the baby, so it goes really heavy. So I thank God that I didn't have to, I didn't go, that route, but it's real.
Yeah. And there's no reason, I was doing some research on it, and it's like, it's nothing that the mom did, it's nothing that you did during your pregnancy that causes it. It's just with your hormones, your estrogen, everything kind of being all over the place, it can occur. So, one person can get it, another one. It's not because she did something different throughout her pregnancy than the next person. It can just happen. It has nothing to do with the person as a mom or during their pregnancy. So.
And you know what? I'm guilty of that. When I didn't have any kids, and I, heard of women not connecting with their baby at first, I used to think like, what's wrong, or
something's wrong.
And I'm guilty of that. I was, judgmental in that way, because I didn't know, I didn't have any kids, and I thought when you have a baby, you should automatically
just be happy,
connect,
full of joy.
Yeah, and I used to think that way, but that's not the case.
Right.
That's not the case. It's different for every woman.
And these are women who are, like you said, you were married. These are not just women who are married or with their mate. This can happen to anybody, because sometimes they tend to categorize, oh, well, her and the guy is not together. It doesn't matter.
Nope.
It's the individual. Some people may get it, some may not. It's not about whether your kid's father is there supporting you. It's just, you can have a husband and, like you said, a whole support system and still get it. So I think sometimes people look like, well, that's not going to happen to me because I got this or that.
You can't have a support system.
Exactly. It doesn't matter. Right.
Pregnancy,
That's true.
having a child is like the closest to death you'll ever get. So, like, can you imagine? Your body is like in shock.
You have a whole life in there, right?
Yeah, that's true.
It's pulling from everything. So, I mean, eating healthy and trying to maintain healthy while you're pregnant is good if women were already emotional. But if it's somebody who's extremely emotional or very emotional, they may have a stronger chance of coming down with postpartum depression because you're already emotional. Now add, imbalance, hormones definitely can trigger it. So
that's like simple, like anxiety, things like that. Not simple because anxiety is not a simple, condition, but it can be triggered by just, an imbalance, a simple imbalance that you don't even realize is going on in your body,
Exactly.
So
now, by you going through it, do you have any advice that you can maybe give someone out there who's...
Don't beat yourself up. That's what I would advise any woman. First of all, you're going to initially have those, oh my God,
I know I did.
I
definitely
Every
did.
mom does it. I did it after every kid, not just the first one. So it's like,
exactly.
Oh, really?
You can get it too.
Oh, wow.
it happens. It's like, you're like, oh my God, what's going on?
Right.
It's still a change,
Yeah.
But don't beat yourself up. That's natural. Just keep moving. That's the most you can do is keep moving. Don't let yourself get stuck in those feelings. Figure something out. Don't let yourself start isolating or not wanting to participate in those things you used to, because those things are going to get you out
Right,
of it.
that's
You know,
what's
then you'll see that I'm doing this with my baby, and that'll give you more confidence. So
Right.
just keep pushing. That's what I would advise.
Wow. What
And I
about,
think
do you have any advice?
talking to someone, if you find yourself sad, unhappy, we tend to kind of internalize everything. You have to talk to somebody, because I know my mom, she would bug me every day. Come on, Kendra, get up, let's do this. She wouldn't let me lay in. I'm just like, Mom, I just want to lay here. And I felt like I was tired, but once I learned what it was, it's like, oh, okay. But you have to talk and tell somebody what's going on, be it your sister, your friend. Let somebody know how you're feeling, so that way they can say, hey, that's postpartum depression. Because I think a lot of times we go through things and we may not know what the label is for that, so we just assume I don't want to tell nobody, they gonna look at me or think I'm crazy. No, that's it's postpartum depression, and there's things that you can do that if it is getting worse, your study getting sadder, and then you can help them talk to your doctor. I think people don't be as open and honest with their doctors as they need to be. If while you're there doing the baby checkup, hey doc, by the way, I find myself crying a lot. Is this normal?
Right.
And that way they can tell you what to do, or give you some options. Okay, well, if this is going on another week or two, maybe you should consider doing things like that. And I think that would help with dealing with it. You can't just think, oh, it's going to go away, because like you said, sometimes it'll lead to want to get divorced, want to leave your mate your whole life,
It's all
because
kinds of thoughts.
right. Because anxiety and everything, and then you think you're still off balance, because even after the baby, your hormones don't go right back. It takes a while to kind of get back to your body and life post or prior
That's
to the
true.
baby.
It took me like a year every time.
Yeah.
Oh,
A year
yeah.
to just
I always say 2
feel
years
like
with having a baby.
myself,
Yeah.
like to start feeling like, okay, this is me again,
Right.
Yeah. But that piggybacks off of making sure you find a doctor you're comfortable with.
Right,
Because I
definitely.
think a lot of people don't search for the right doctor for them. I looked until
Right, you found
I
a doctor,
one,
right.
and she was my doctor for all of my kids,
Right.
so it was
Oh, you had the same doctor for- oh, that's
Which is
so
good.
it was easier for me to be like, hey, this is going on. I don't know what it is,
Right.
and then she was able to share with me,
Right.
what was going on. So that's important too.
And she knows your history, so that's
Right.
good too, But I definitely think you have to be open and talk. The nurse, if you feel more comfortable with the nurse, hey nurse, by the way, but you gotta talk to somebody.
And therapy is not bad. You can get a referral from your doctor, and it won't cost you any extra than your regular insurance.
Right.
Therapy is not bad if that's the way you need to go.
That's awesome.
Definitely.
Well, if you or anyone out there is going through postpartum depression, there is a hotline you can call, and that number is 1-844-549-4266. Please call that number, and you can also, like they said, talk to your family. You can talk to a close friend if you know someone that's going through any type of depression. So just please talk to someone. On Chatty Catties, we have a new segment that we added,
Yes,
and this
we
is our
did.
sisterly love / brotherly love segment, where we acknowledge a male or female and their accomplishments and their success. So today we are going to acknowledge a woman who is a writer and a producer. She has written and produced some of my favorite shows
Mine too.
like Scandal and Grey's Anatomy. She has also written several books.
Yes.
Very good.
So today we're going to salute Miss Shonda Rhimes, or Mrs. Shonda Rhimes. We
Yes.
salute you. Keep doing your thing with Shonda Rhimes.
Yes.
You guys can also follow us on Facebook by typing in Chatty Catties. Please also follow us on Instagram by typing in Chatty_Catties. And
Happy Juneteenth.
yes, Juneteenth. And we will definitely see you guys next time. Bye. Bye-bye.